Okay, welcome to the preview for a cracking card at Flemington, and I've got TB and Azza, who are both flying at the moment. Thanks for coming on, guys.
No worries, guys. Good to be here.
Well, let's not muck around. Let's get straight into it. We've got the youngsters in the first 1,000 meters. Azza, do you have an opinion here?
Yes, I do. We're going to get the day off to a big start here. Got some as good as the inside mail as you can get on this race. And hopefully TV gives it the tick from the yard. But unless there's something here that's absolutely unbelievable, number 7, Robusto, will be winning. An Ingham homebred out of a Coolmore stallion. The jump out says a lot. But I've also spoken to a few people very much in the know, and they expect this to be winning. I've had a big bet on it to start the day. At the 4:40, they went up. It's into 3:50 now. That's still a bet. I don't think the Mar thing is that good, which is the equal fave. I think that will drift significantly. They're getting the Spirit at 10 is a squib. It should lead and die on the arse. And there's always the blue things, but they can't beat Robusto on the jump out. So for me, one of the best bets of the day, Robusto going to get off to an absolute flyer.
Well, I love that. And your absolute unloads are been very profitable lately, Azza. You know, this people don't realise there's so much money to just truckload when you got an edge, isn't there? I love it. I love it. And you've been flying. Okay, let's move on to race 2, 1,800 metres. More your cup of tea here, TB. What do you got for it?
Yeah, it's not a bad race. Obviously, a bit of a derby lead up here. I thought Gunstock was the most exciting horse here in the race. It had carried Liam Rawdon around Cranbourne first up, travelled 3, even 4 wide at times, all for ride, and just got the job done really well late. It's obviously a big step up from maiden to Saturday, but I know that the stable's got a big opinion of the horse. I don't know what the right price is, but it was my A play here. Outside of that, I thought Euro Dandy's win down at Geelong was a horse that might have a really good future this spring. It powered through the line. It did have the rail to assist, so it was a rail bias day, but I thought it was strong enough late and ran a really good time. The horse that ran down Lafargue, I know this Danny O'Brien stable's got a big opinion of it, and there's been some good other runs in that race, so I think that might hold up, and it's around $11. Just with the way I imagine the track might play with the rail out 9 meters, I don't think it would be too much of a disadvantage to sort of be right up there on Saturday. So I thought Euro Dandy would be not a bad 1x3 play. So they're the two I'm looking at.
Azza?
Yeah, I've seen it pretty similarly. I backed Gunstock at $3.80. $3.20 is probably as low as I could take now. That was a super win. They went out 18 lengths slow, came home 14 lengths fast, did run the fastest 600 metres on the day, and Liam Reardon gave it a sore back. It was a shocking ride, and it still won. It didn't beat much. Still think it's got a lot of potential. It's a derby horse. Whether it's good enough to win it, it's right in this. Hitotsu's a big danger. It showed a lot of promise in the autumn. It ran the sires behind, Paul Ely, a lot of good horses in that race. Wendy Kelly had it. This Bray Sokolsky, etc., have bought it, given it to Kieran. And it pissed in only a maiden at Donald. But look, it was pretty impressive. The second horse won a maiden already this week. It's got a lot of potential, this horse. And it's definitely the top two. The only other one, I agree with TB, Euro Dandy, the 5. They went out 4 lengths above and 3 lengths above home in that race. So I think it's right in this. And the 1's a nice horse. I just don't know if tomorrow's a day. If there's money for it on Betfair, be wary of it. If not, it might be waiting for third up. But D-Lane sticks, they snagged it to last. I'll be more positive on it. And off its figures in Doomben in the winter in that listed race, he could run a race here. But I'm big bet 8, and winning on 7 as well.
Okay, sweet. I don't have much to offer there. Let's move on to race 3. Azza, 1610, Group 2, 3-year-old fillies. I've got some Sydney form here. Might say something. What do you got for
Yeah,
it?
the North Koreans are coming down. I spent a lot of time on this race actually. Elusive Express was a good run in the Group 2 last start. Geez, it's short enough at $2.80. It can win. I've just assumed the one's running in the flight. There's no jockey, so I've just not included that in my thinking. The two I'm going to back here are 7 Mokalua. Clary Connors 4th up, down from North Korea. Wish it had drawn a better gate. They're probably going to have to be negative on it. But look, it's second to Profondo, where it sat OSL, and it's 7th or something in the T rows, where it just come attacking the line. It might be better form here, and at $9.50, I think it's overs with the DF. Number 12, Glint of Hope. I think this might be the Oaks winner. Jesus is a nice horse. First start in a race, flew home, just got nailed. And then was a really, really impressive third behind Cuban Link, and that went and won at Flemington on Wednesday. So that's good form. I think this is a Maurice filly. She's going to want ground. So I'm going to back those two. And just one other to call out here. If you like stalking, I wouldn't talk you out of it, but Swamp Vixen, it's about 50s. First start, it beat Forgot You and Sandy Prince, 2 very good horses. Forgot You won the Stud Stakes on Friday night. It then ran a stinker in the Mornington Sires. They spelled it. First, in a jump out, it beat Shalo. And Shalo was really trying in that jump out. And that pissed in, obviously, last week, and I think will win the Maya. They ran it first up in a benchmark 64 open, and it was 5 wide the trip, and it just kept coming. If there's a blowout, McAvoy at Flemington, there can often be one. Just sky out. Look, whether it can win, I'm not sure from 12, but if it's 60 to 1s on the fair, I definitely won't be losing on it. Those two. And, if Elusive Express wins, I'm happy to cop it at that price. It's definitely got a chance, but I just thought they were a lot more even bunch than the prices indicate at the moment.
TV?
Yeah, I would have had a Elusive Express favourite. It felt short when I looked at the prices, but I mean, it was coming off I think it was like a heavy 10 first up into the Group 2 second up. I thought its run, was excellent. I was happy to take it on with Heresy that day because it was coming off the heavy 10. So now it's sort of had that run. It can go forward from barrier. So it's going to be really hard to beat. And I think it deserves to be favourite. I just think it's a bit too short at the moment. But if I was to have a primary bet, it would be Elusive Express. I give Swamp Vixen actually a chance too, as I didn't miss that run at Bendigo either, mate. And I quite liked it first up, and I was surprised it was really soft in the betting. So I'm expecting them to be quite positive from 12 and put it into the race. And I said a bit earlier that I think it might be an advantage to be closer to speed with the rail out, as long as they're running along here. Adela Moore will go forward. It might, if it runs along at some decent sections, bit of cut out of the ground might not hurt it. I thought he could run a race. And the Sydney one I was interested in was Molekulu as well. I'll be interested to see what Gord's got to say about those runs, but I know it was definitely in that inferior ground in its last run. Like, it was just out in the muck wide. With the way that track was playing, it had none the other day. So it's hard to sort of line up all this different fillies form because nothing's really standing out at the moment. So I don't know. Maybe people should back Swamp Vixen tonight at 34s if Azra and I both find it. Maybe we won't get 50s, but looking forward to seeing this parade.
I'm definitely going to back number 7, Mokalua. It's had excuses all 3 runs this preparation. It's got tiny margins to what I think is a Group 1 horse in Profondo, where it wasn't in the right part of the track either, and wasn't in the right part of the track in the Group 2 with the sort of some of the best 3-year-olds we've got running around up here in Sydney. So it's a bet for me. Positive jockey change too. Their Preble's absolutely flying at the moment. And off my speed maps, guys, if it wants to lead, it can lead. But it'll be up to stable intent.
I had him going forward on it too with Preble on.
So they, if they show intent from barrier 15, I'm getting wide barrier leader off stronger form stuff, easy to take 950. Okay, let's move on to race 4, 1200 meters, Group 2. Oh, this is a tough race. I'll go to you first, TB.
Yeah, it is a tough race. Obviously, we've got Zatori, Splintex, and away game coming out of the same straight race. Probably thought away game's run was the best given the run it sort of had in transit. It sort of pushed along and sort of bullied out of it a bit, but strongest through the line. But I mean, Zatori's getting a bit of a weight pull against them. I was kind of against Zatori that day. I didn't think its trials were very good either. So I'm kind of wanting just to look for some DF. I'm finding it hard to sort of, confidently back one of those three. I thought the DF was Camel Passer. It raced Zatori down the straight and was beaten less than, I think it was like 0.5, 0.3 lengths when they met last time. I think it gets a kilo off. Its first up run was pretty good with 62 kilos over in Adelaide. It was a decent enough race. I think it'll improve second up. It loves the straight. I think it can get the back of Volpine and just suck along on its back and maybe put the race away. I mean, I always get a bit worried with races like this when I start to even consider a horse like Bonds Abroad. And I was like even making weird cases for Volpine in my head last night. So I don't even know if it's a race I'll play, but if I was, I'd probably go the DF with Kemple Passer.
Great, Anna.
Yeah, I don't have a fair opinion. If I was having a bet, if you put a gun to my head, I'd back Satori, proven straight horse, but it's not really my sort of race. So I haven't got anything that I can really give any insight on.
Yeah, I don't. Off map as far as pace is concerned, I'd be looking for something to swamp them. But when it's down the straight, weird shit happens. So just off a map thing, I'd probably lean towards number one. Okay, let's move on to race 5, 1100 meters. I'll go to you first again, TV, because this I think there's some horses you might be fond of or have an opinion of in this race.
Yeah, at first you look at it and you're like, fuck, like Rancham was held up, Ingratiating was out sort of facing the win last time. I'd say Ingratiating's run was probably about 3 lengths better, just with the way that the wind was playing when they met last time, and Rancham goes up 2 kilos of weight, so I have to be with Ingratiating against it. Bruckner, that win in the it was the McNeil off the top of my head. That race didn't look great on the day, but now this form's starting to be franked all around. All this 3-year-old form's franked sort of through that. So I give it a chance. I'm not mad on barrier 2 down the straight, but they could try and lead the race from that barrier. I've got a massive opinion of Ranvier. I don't know whether that's good enough form right now to beat Ingratiating, but I've still got it thereabouts. And I think Gord might give this Kalos a push coming down from Sydney. I thought it was a great bet last night at $20. Just checking the markets now, it's coming to 11. So I thought it might be the DF. But I'm pretty keen to go with Ingratiating again. I think I like its map. It'll get from 10. I like Ollie down the straight. I think it's the best horse in this race still.
So, Azza?
Yeah, I backed Kalos last night at $21. It's only 2 lengths off these horses in the autumn. So I thought at $21, if it's got 2 lengths of improvement in it, it's right in this. I liked its, first up win at Hawkesbury. I know it didn't beat much, but still the way he did it was really stylish. So that's the one better. They're not sort of races I get heavily involved in. Mornington Glory, I sort of tipped to everyone in its first start. This is just a big step up for it, but God, it's a good horse. I actually love Ranchan's win. I backed Ingratiating last start, laid it off in the run, so I chopped out, but God, it nearly fell. And yeah, he did face the win Ingratiating. All them acknowledged weights, blah, blah, blah. Just stinks a September run, this ranch hand. Waller bringing it on down the straight for the Coolmore. Is it just the obvious? So I'll probably just have my Kalos bet at $21 and sit on that. But probably my top picks from Ranch Hand in a great race, a Coolmore lead up. So I'll be sort of more a spectator as much as anything.
Yeah, as far as that Kalos is concerned, we do have, you could say, freaking of the form there. So Hold All Honey ran round equal favourite in a race this morning, first race at Wyong. And Carbling, who Kalos owned, was in the same race. Hold All Honey was disappointing. Carbling won easy. going away powerful late by 2 lengths. And Callis was under a massive hold to win that drive. It was pretty impressive, wasn't it? We sort of don't know how much more it had up its sleeve, but it was a glorified barrier trial. Looks to have a bit of talent. I have Ingratiating on top. I'm interested in Kalos, and there's one that I thought could improve it, like in that 50-1 range, which is number 9 Forbes, which has that small margin to Animo in a previous preparation, and you don't need more than that at long odds. Race 6. Azza, 14-10, Group 2.
Jesus. Yeah, obviously, I've been a big Anavisto fan. This is a hugely different setup here. Look, I'm going to stick with Instant Celebrity Last Chance. It was probably a little disappointing last start, but I thought the last 200 or even the last 100, it sort of did pick up and did show that finishing burst. I'm just expecting them to park a lot closer here and use its finishing speed to be in it. And I'll back it each way, but I won't be going silly. I think the market's pretty right. If you've got faith in Mystic Journey, back it, but you'll lose more than you win. So not for me. Still a Star will improve second up. And I thought if there's a smoky TB like this last start, I thought I had none because of Caulfield, but Snickerdoodle Dandy was a better run than it looked. Hopefully they could park a bit closer here and at huge odds. That'd be one that I think is in this. It's an out and out Flemington horse. But for me, I'll be backing Instant Celebrity each way, but it won't be a primary bet.
Sorry, TB?
Yeah, I expect there's really good speed here. Like I think Pride of Jenny will go forward from the inside gate. Ecumenical will take up a spot, and Anavisto's got to come across from 14. If I want to back Anavisto, I want it to go quick. I don't want it to, lead slow and let them creep on you at Flemington. So I was originally going to take it on, but I could see myself backing it. I want to see it really relaxed in the parade, walking around, not wasting any energy, because it'll need it. But I think it's on its figure first up. It rated down a bit second up, but it was it was leading into the wind at Caulfield that day, which was a disadvantage. So I think it could do it. A Mystic Journey, Instant Celebrity, great chances. You'd like, if you backed either, you'd want them to take up a spot. Neither horse really ever seems to. I think probably Mystic Journey is more likely to. And Ecumenical, it does get a big jockey change with, I think, Will Price off for Billy Egan. And it can be right up there on the speed. But yeah, it's definitely a parade race for me because I feel like something's going to have to run a big figure to win this. But yeah, Anavisto, Mystic Journey, Instant Celebrity are probably the main 3. Rough chances, Ecumenical, and even Bond of the Cini on its day can run a huge race. Flemington 1410, so it's got the figures behind it. Whether it's still there, I'm not sure, but it's $50, so it's not a bad one to throw a drink on.
Hey, there's a little pattern here on a horse. Not normally the stable I look for this pattern, but it's a pretty positive pattern, and that's number 11, Banner Girl. I won't bet now. I'll wait for TB to give me the mounting yard mail, and if he says it's ready first up, I think he can run a very good race over 1400 metres. It's got the best figure of all these horses quite comfortably, but we don't know whether it's going to have the ability to do that first up over 1400 metres because that figure was over 18. Okay, the Turnbull guys. Wow, hey, is this one you want to talk about? I'm excited about Mexican racing. Jesus, what's going on? Azza, what do you got?
I mean, I'll probably be watching, but for the sake of tipping, the angle I'll take is Fuck Very Elegant's a hard horse to ride. And this is D Lane. I love D Lane. He's a superstar. But I'll tip Incentivise based on it leading, dictating, and, you've really got to get it right with Very Elegant for her to win. I love her. She's a superstar. Lane, also Waller, grand final day is clearly the Cox Plate, not today. And, we know he's that grand final trainer, but I'm talking shit, really. Like, Incentivise, but I sort of hope she wins because I just love her. And I'd love her to get 10 Group 1s. But, yeah, probably won't be if the incentivise gets over $3, I'll back it. But I couldn't see. I couldn't see. My mail is Sir Dragon A felt the track last start. So I know that. So I'm basically penning that. So Mount Popper will improve. It's got a lot of improvement out of the yard, and it's a nice horse, but not good enough to win.
Like TB?
Yeah, I can't wait to see this race. Obviously it looks like there's only two chances with the map. I think Sir Dragon is sort of taken out from its barrier. So I'd like to see them roll along on Incentivise a bit. Like, I don't know how hard they're going to go here with the Caulfield Cup coming up, but I'd probably be favouring Incentivise over Very Elegant. But it's only a bit of a gut feel sort of that, like, Incentivise might be sort of that next freak that we've got in the country, whereas Very Elegant's like that awesome Group 1 horse that just keeps winning, but it doesn't win by like huge margins like you feel like Incentivise might be able to. So I'm probably leaning towards Incentivise. Surprised that it's probably better odds right now, but maybe that's because they thought we were going to get a lot more rain than we might actually get at this stage. Just another horse I'd like to mention, Young Werther. It looked amazing the other day in the yard. Like, it's strengthened up, it's really furnished. It ran a really good race first up. I did have something on it at the odds, but it got held up in the straight. I think it could be the horse that might improve and even run third here if they show a bit of intent. Like, they are setting it, I think, to run in the Melbourne Cup. So you'd like to see it run a big race here, and it might be one that you could back to place. But looking forward to the race.
So, well, I'm going to go with VE, but similar to Azza, I'll probably watch and enjoy, depending on price probably. But I've probably got to back her. I did say that she wouldn't get beaten again this preparation, so maybe I've got to stick to that. I thought there was a little bit more value in her win last start than people might suggest. And if we do get a little bit of rain, that definitely ups her figure to that peak rating. So, and the other one's not 100% proven yet, although it does have a real big figure up there in Queensland. Race 8, 25-20. Who are you going for here, Azza?
Yeah, look, I do love distance races. I did find this a bit of a puzzle. Grand Promenade went up $21 on Monday. If you're good enough to get that, well done. They fucked that up. There was plenty of 13s and 15s around, which was snapped up. So sitting on that. Charlie Rose, I think, is probably good enough from 20 to work forward here and be right in the finish. I don't know what to do with this Waller thing, Shiraz. It's hard in the market, and there's a reason for that. Probably the one bet I will have on Saturday that I think is a really good price is Port Goulayne that Hazer brought over from Europe. Have a look at its run in the naturalism. It was very, very, very nice run. Third up here. It's won a Group 2 in France. I love the French stayers. If the sting's out a little bit, I think that's going to benefit this horse greatly. It's won 3 from 5 on the soft. So I thought definitely that goes in all your quaddies. And the Maid, I did mention this at about 30 to 1 when I did the last preview in the naturalism. It was wide the whole way. It ran well. First up over 2,000. It'll improve second up here. Not a lot of fat in the price at $9, but it's going in everything. Be very interested to see what Knight's Order does here. Went up to I felt a next level last prep. It's jumped out really well since that first up run. And I'm sure that Gay's going to tell Mickey D to make this a true staying test and bank on their fitness. So the winner of this gets in the Melbourne Cup. So great race. We're really interested. The barriers have really thrown a spanner in the works. Not a lot of clarity. I thought Grand Promenade, Charlie Rose are 2 top picks, and I'll be putting in Port Goulayne and a Maid.
DB?
Yeah, I think Charlie Rose can get across from 20 just looking at the map. Like, we've got obviously Knight's Order is going to take it up. Grand Promenade will be handy. Charlie Rose is a go-forward horse this prep, and that's about it, really. So Yeah, as it does make a good point, like they get those go stayers can just go nuts out in front and make it a real staying test. Here, whether Mick D does go too ridiculous or not, that's sort of what he's just said. There's throwing a spanner in my works. But I thought Charlie Rose, the markets love this horse first up and second up. I mean, I didn't even give it a chance first up, and I feel like it's getting out to its right sort of distance now. The other one, as I didn't mention, Dawn Patrol, it was off the map in the fan at Moonee Valley, got backed into $7, and it's definitely all its form is staying form. That was a mile race, and now it's up to 2,500 meters. If they can put it in the race from barrier 15, there's not much speed underneath it. It's of interest. Shiraz, I've got absolutely no idea. I just was willing to risk Gamard slightly just because of the age. An 8-year-old here, but Charlie Rose, Dawn Patrol, Port Goulamay were probably my main three at this stage. But yeah, definitely a mounting yard race for me.
Well, TV, you and I have talked about this Port Goulamay before, actually. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more in Australia, but now that it's up to this 2,500 metres, it's pet distance, it might come into his own. I love the fact that, as I spotted that run of its last start, that showed that, it had something to offer, was in reasonable form, and maybe this distance will really turn it on, because some of its stuff in France is definitely good enough to win this race. And shit, guys, we're getting 15, 20 to 1 to find out. So that interests me. Let's move on to race 9, 1,410 metres, TB.
Yeah, not a great deal of interest in this race. I did get it down to 3 chances, which I think is Asar, Crosshaven, and Morvada. I just feel like a horse like Just Folk, Tabardance off the nice trail, they're just going to get too far back here. But I haven't really finalised my thoughts. But I'm probably leaning towards Asar at this stage. It paraded a lot better in the Group 1 race last time, so I actually did have something on. I've never seen it walk around, with a perfect attitude before, and it did that. So maybe it's finally maturing a bit, and it can put itself right in the race. I think 1,400 has always been its right distance. Crosshaven's right distance is 1,400. Morvada's getting a bit older now, so yeah. But they're the 3 up on speed I was most interested in.
Azar?
Yeah, it's a hateful Sydney-like race, this.
Jesus, I tell you what, they've been from North Korea.
With a bunch of non-winners.
Real North Korean race, isn't it?
A regular Saturday race in Sydney with 4 dynamic syndication horses and all that sort of shit. But in terms of getting serious and analysing it, I know Tabby Dance has jumped out absolutely enormous, but I just cannot catch it. It's a hateful horse for me. So I'm penning it. There's a lot that I'm penning. So what am I not penning? Asar is a very nice horse. Blinkers went on in a Group 1 last start. It was on the minimum, gets beat a length at 60s. It was way over the odds, so don't worry about the SP profile. It's got Group 1 form all through there, but geez, it's paying the price 59.5 here, giving some weight to a lot lower rated horses, mind you. But look, I wouldn't want to lose on it. I'm actually going to back the 14 here. It's way out of the ratings, but I think this horse is going really, really well. That Adelaide win was it beat 2 really handy horses. Wicklow Towns had a huge prep, and I really liked. I think I tipped it on the last preview about $16, and it ran a nice third behind Dirty Thoughts in the Gouch with Melissa Julius on. Drops 5 kilos, gets Dean Holland for Julius, so that's a double tick. We'll lead up this distance. I hear you, TB, on the map. It's just an honest horse where a lot of these aren't honest, so I'm happy to sort of take $10. Again, won't be going too silly, but I do think that this horse will run really well, and we might even get a better price on the day. So I'll be backing Just Folk each way.
It's an interesting horse, that Just Folk, isn't it, Azza? Because, I'm looking at the ratings to win stuff there, and if you notice, it's 2 first-up runs in its career. It improved 4 points on performance. It's second up, and I'll have to watch the replay of that Flemington run, because that's the only time second up that it hasn't elevated its rating. And if it resumed with what, a 98, the other 2 times it resumed with an 86. So maybe this horse is just dead set flying. And if it can improve off the 96.7, it's a bloody good chance to win this race. I don't have it on top. I got number 1 ASAR on top. I like the proven, top A grade performer, and TB says it's starting to look better in the yard. You've got a bit of a feel for it, Azza. So I'll be backing ASAR and maybe something on Just Vote. Over to you, TB. Is there any specials for the day?
I would. Sorry, mate, I'm just flicking through them.
Yeah, you're right.
Not really at the moment. Maybe ingratiating. I think there's been a bit of negativity about it. In a bit of the language, I think we might even get a better price than 380. So it's one I'm definitely keen to back. So maybe ingratiating for me.
Right, Azza?
Yeah, for me, the best is Robusto. Encourage everyone to look at the Flemington jump out site and look at its jump out. I don't want to say it's a JWWW, but I'm close to, but because they're off the starters, I won't.
For everybody out there, that's just wins will win.
But I'm not saying that, but I'm feeling very confident.
I love it when you're saying that about a race in which we've never seen any of the
exactly. That's what I'm not saying. Yeah. That's the only reason I'm not saying it. So I don't want to use the term too loosely. Race 2, I think we definitely get a result out of Haitotsu and Gunstock. And race 3, I'm feeling good about that Glint of Hope and Mokalua bracket. I'll be backing both of those each way at $10, and I don't see how I'll lose much on the race at all at those odds.
Beauty, guys. Well, thanks very much for coming on. That was great, guys, and I think there's plenty of bets to be had there. And everybody out there, good luck. And once again, cheers, fella.
Thanks, boys.
No
Cheers.
worries. Thanks, guys.